All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am your Ice Dragon Rayron VR, and today we have another special unboxing here, or mail, or whatever you want to call this series. I think I got it as the Icy Mail, but in today we've got something special. We got this interesting little suitcase here. Um, yeah, nice fancy case, all wood, and it's got these interesting markings here. This is from Micromart. So, got this in. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. All nice and shiny. Alright, let's take that manual away. So, if you guys haven't guessed already, this is the Micromart camera car. I saw this and it's like, I know it's a little expensive, but considering that you get a case with it, you get this awesome detailed car. Look at this. This is actually nicely detailed. Got all sorts of rocks here. This is the B&O. I wish the camera car had different rail numbers, but this works. All metal wheels. Looks like KD couplers, which is nice. Not whisker couplers, but it's fine. So we got this magnetic back here. All right, and here it is. Here is the camera. I'm very excited to try this. So on advertising, it says that you can, download an app to see how the camera looks. We can also insert a micro SD card, which is what I'm going to be using the most. And we also got this connector port right here for the computer. So we'll go ahead and take this off. Now, to my understanding, this should be just a, yep. So yeah, this is definitely a magnetic base there, which is nice. Now I'm curious, can I rotate this? Yeah, look at this. You can rotate the mount here. So it looks like it's got full 360. So it's got this little slot back here. So you are able to do 360. Well, I mean, obviously you can't point down, but you got full 360 on the x-axis. You've got 180 here on the y. So very, very nice. I'm actually quite impressed with the quality. It's definitely, that even the detail in the gondola here, a little pieces of it just keep popping out that I keep seeing here. Very nice. Ah, I see. So yeah, this is definitely magnetic here. So what we can do is to make it ultra magnetic. Looks like they provide you with a sticky back here that you put on here, which is what I think we'll do. Let me just make sure. Let me follow the instructions real quick here before I start making any more mistakes. Let's see. Buttons, yeah. Yeah, definitely glad I read the instructions because we need that QR code in the back here to scan it. Or we can just scan it from here, looks like. That's a mobile app installation. So yeah, I'm actually going to hold off. Yeah, the magnetic is still pretty good there, so I'm going to hold off putting this backing on. Looks like it comes with the cable. We've got a USB connector there. And you've also got this interesting adjustable one. Huh. That's pretty cool. So it's like if you want to connect it to like an external battery source. Let's see here. Yeah, you can probably, what you can do is add another gondola car and then connect this to potential an external battery in the back here, or maybe another car. There's a lot of potential with this. I'm actually quite satisfied with this. So yeah, there is the camera. And there's your camera car. So very, very nice. Cool. So with that, let's go ahead and put it on the layout and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so originally the plan was this camera car, I thought I was going to get some particular footage on the layout for this. However, this video quickly turned into a buyer beware. So originally I thought, let me get this stupid thing out real quick, the SD card. So I thought this camera was a high quality camera. It looked really good. And I wish I had done my research a little bit more on what this camera is. And it's basically a kind of one of those cheapo cameras. It goes by many different names. And what I kind of narrowed it down to, like, this is the A9 camera. And I tell you what, this was very, very disappointing. So I've spent the last 2 to 3 hours trying to get this camera to work. And so initially what should have happened is that, we got the on-off switch here. You press and hold for 5 seconds. What this camera does is emit a WLAN signal that you can connect via your phone. It's very similar to how like the LNWI works. And you're supposed to connect it via the phone. And then download an app, and then you can see the footage of what this camera is providing. You can record, you can press capture with the video and so forth. However, that function worked for like the first time. And then after that, it was very, very sporadic on when this thing emits its WLAN signal. And so on the particular app itself, you're able to connect it and so forth. But there are several problems. I don't even know where to begin when it comes to the problems of this camera. So it does have a micro SD card that's supposed to record onto the card itself. But then on the app, there's also a place where you can actually record and actually have it stored the video onto the app. However, the video, don't ask me how this works, but the app recorded the video differently from what was actually recording on the SD card. And so that was problem number one. Problem number two was that the video that was being captured on this micro SD card was an AVI format. It was a miracle that I was able to actually edit the AVI because I've got some converters to MP3 or MP4 format, so that way I can actually get the footage to edit. But this thing is so temperamental, it is awful. Because on most other cameras, like I've got another camera over here that I've used before to make a video. This is the SIR Sir Galwen. Again, it's kind of a cheap Amazon camera, but again, a lot cheaper than what I paid for this. And so this really kind of just disappointed me and then I was able to get it to work a few times, and then unfortunately with this particular button here, you would think that when you press it on, it will start recording onto the SD card or go to the app. No, it is very temperamental. When you press that on button, sometimes you got to hold it for 5 seconds, sometimes you got to hold it for 10 seconds for this little blue light to appear, and then it goes dim blue, and then it goes bright blue, and then it just randomly turns black. And it is completely random if you're able to get anything recorded to the micro SD card. The instructions are really vague when it comes to just not using the app at all, but it is very dependent on the app that it's kind of disgusting. And it's not like this one that you just press a button, you look for the color, and if it's that color, you know it's recording. Now the problem with the camera that I have here that I've used before is that it doesn't tell you what the battery life is. Now when I got this thing to actually sync up and actually emit the WLAN signal, I can at least see what the battery life of this camera is, which is not that long. I was actually quite surprised for how fast the battery was draining on this. It's supposed to record up to 2K, which, yeah, good luck with that. Another issue I found with this is that when you go to charge it, on a normal 1 amp charging thing, when it comes to the USB, it overheats. And to the point that it's actually gotten scary, and it's a miracle that my micro SD card hasn't been damaged by it. And so that was kind of interesting to see. When it comes to the app recording the video, so you're forced to download this app. Again, this is going to kind of go into probably a first for this channel, my first Dragon Rage and Buyer Beware video. And so the manual is very like it was good up until when the thing doesn't work, and also, by the way, it doesn't support 5G Wi-Fi, which most things don't. I don't know why, but anyways, the instructions were really good. I was able to get it, paired up and everything. But again, this thing was so temperamental on after the first time I connected it that the wireline signal just doesn't want to work now. And when this thing works when you press and hold and it starts to flash, then you can connect it. But from time to time I get connected and then it disconnects randomly. Another issue I've had with this is that the video that you get and record on the app itself, there is no way to export it into an MP4, so that way I can actually make videos on it. So that was also disappointing. And so that was kind of two strikes type of deal. And so I spent several trial and error messing with these buttons here. Mode is absolutely freaking useless. It's supposed to reset this device, and I tried to press and hold 5 seconds, so that way it can reset internally. And then so that way I try to press 5 seconds here, so that way I can get that blinking, so that way I can at least connect and use the app. Well, this thing is so temperamental that it doesn't want to work at all the way the instructions prescribed it. And kind of the final nail in the coffin is that in the app itself, there's like a tutorial on how to actually set this up. It's actually a YouTube video. And, it got me wondering, I wonder if comments are actually turned on. Sure enough, it is. And so I read through the comments, and it pretty much solidified my concerns. A lot of people were asking for help. A lot of people were having the exact same issues I was, that it wasn't emitting that wireline signal. And it got to the point that some people said that, it was working fine, and then it just randomly would not connect. So no doubt this camera is trash, unfortunately, considering how much I paid for this. This is the first time I've actually felt ripped off, and that's why I'm kind of making this video, just to be more of a buyer's beware. Do not buy this. I highly recommend just go to Amazon and get yourself one of these Cube cameras, or just do your research and figure out which camera works best for you, because this one works just fine. It captures exactly what I need. And so I was very, very disappointed with this device. And it also, you kind of noticed I had to use a screwdriver to get the SD card out, because this little engraving here is not big enough for your fingernail to go in to actually get the clicking motion to get the SD card out, whereas this one, you can see it's quite a bit larger for the concave there to get the SD card out. And so this one works a lot better and reliable than this one. Granted, this one doesn't connect to like any app that's dependent on it. It works. It captures what I need to do, and then I can make videos out of it. Whereas this one, it was very disappointing. And so it left me thinking, what can I do with this? Because, we spent a lot of money here, and unfortunately, we got a piece of crap camera. So this is, in my opinion, this is absolutely trash, this camera. And so I began to think about, I've got this nice car. What can I do with it? Maybe I can save it. And so kind of what I did, and it's kind of already falling apart, is I love this stand to the point that I broke it off, because I want to try to salvage whatever I can from this. And there's a lot that I can do with this mount, considering it's 360. It can go all the way around. It's somewhat magnetic. I thought this part was magnetic, so I thought I can put like a piece of magnetic tape. But it doesn't really, it sticks, but not to the strength that I need it. So still a little bit more experimentation to do. And then this product also came with like another magnetic backing here. And so kind of what I'm thinking about doing is, you can see how much stronger that is taking this and then converting it into my other camera here. And then what I'm thinking about is putting this on my other car that I was using to capture from the camera side, and probably gluing that down so that way I can use this. But again, it just looks so tacky. I think the main issue that I probably won't end up using this is the height of this contraption, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure if this is NMRA standards. I think I'll be cutting it close when it comes to tunnel junctions, but I'm not confident enough I'm not confident to do anything like this on the layout. So I think, unfortunately, this is kind of a really, really big bust. I do have a nice case here that I'll probably break apart. Yeah, probably go ahead and break this apart. Take all this crap out. I do have this box here that I can probably use for tools or something. So I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, and just reconverting this into something else. But this is unfortunately a very trash product. It's a very cheap camera. So the camera here I've been seeing run for like 13 to 15 bucks on eBay. And this car, don't get me wrong, this car is really nice. It is definitely top of the line. I would say this is like a $70-$80 car. Um, with all the nice engraving. Obviously, I had to break it, but I'm definitely going to redo this redo this car a little bit, paint it back up, and don't get me wrong, I can use it as a nice gondola. So again, not bad, not a true loss. I can still use this. Worst case scenario, I can take the metal wheels off and use it for something else, use couplers and use it for something else. But and I got a nice case out of it. So not all is lost. I'm just severely disappointed at the camera. I wish I'd done a little bit more research on what the camera was all about. But yeah, this is definitely not the video I thought I was going to make. I thought I had upgraded my camera system, only to find out that it was kind of a big ripoff. So again, buyer beware, do not buy this. And that's why I like doing these videos, because it gives you guys more general knowledge on, you know, stuff in the hobby. So I am really sad that this is definitely the first kind of big ripoff I've had in the hobby. But you know, I'm willing to share this experience with you guys, so that way you can just stay away from this. Because, you know, I am kind of a techie person, and the fact that I tried everything from trial and error to forums to discussion boards, and they all kind of point in the same general direction, that this is a trash camera. So all right, guys, so with that, again, sorry that this kind of turned into a little bit of a rant, but kind of my first video about buyers beware, Dragon's Rage. I think I'll call it that. But with that, yeah, definitely a big thumbs down for the Micromart camera car here. I highly recommend just trying to find, you know, use one of these cube cameras. But yeah, with that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.